No Man's Sky. I don't want to keep. I really don't want to keep talking about this game.
It's like Pokemon Go. It just happens.
But Pokemon Go didn't completely let down its player base. It does basically what you want. What it doesn't do yet, it's going to do in the future.
Yeah.
And Niantic is very good about keeping up with their player base. Hello Games? No tweeting for the last month? You gonna do something about that? Goodness. Yeah, I'm sorry, Bick. No Man's Sky, we gotta talk about it. Oh gosh. So what happened earlier this week is one of the largest No Man's Sky subreddits shut down temporarily and was brought back up underneath new modern moderation. Yeah, so apparently things have degraded in the subreddit from just pointing out, hey, these are the features that were supposed to be in the game. What in the world? Hello Games, where's all the stuff that we were promised for the game? Apparently it's gotten ugly because things never get ugly on Reddit or any other online forum.
No. Everyone's civilized on the internet.
So, some of the things that were apparently posted by a moderator known as Rouge Wolf, not Rogue Wolf. I think he might have been going for Rogue Wolf, but Rouge Wolf described it as a hate-filled waste hole of no actual discussion. He further explained the other moderators tried to sway my opinion, but cynicism got the best of me as usual. He, I guess, as a moderator, just had it and made the decision to turn it off for a little bit. Basically, any mention of, and it's the that's going on, especially the subreddit called No Man's Sky the game. The one that I believe was actually taken down. Actually, here in the Kotaku article, but so it is one thing. Let me go ahead and break this down. It is one thing to expect the game to have what they say it's going to have in it. Expect full retail price for a game and have it, be a finished, polished product. Since you are paying your dollars aren't incomplete, the game shouldn't be incomplete. And that's what I'm going to start saying when it comes to this stuff. You pay for a complete game, you should get one. And not eventually, not 4 months down the road here. But in the event that you need to tell your people, you need to actually tell your fans, tell the people who bought your game, tell the consumer that, hey, we know that there's stuff missing from the game, and we are going to. Haven't heard that from Hello Games at all. That being said, we really need to get to a point as gamers where we grow up. And I know I'm gonna sound preachy with this, but just hear me out, because this kind of stuff with the death threats that the developers got before, when the game ended up being delayed from a June release date to an August release date, people were sending them death threats. Oh, you've ruined my life because this game, when you said you were going to release this game. That stuff is just ridiculous. There's no need to go down that road.
Especially when the delay is it's 2 months, not half. You have to wait.
Right.
It's that's nothing compared to some games that have been
how
delayed.
They used to delay them. We're talking. We used to have delays as long as a year pushback. Those were not uncommon. and early 2000s. So you got to what you've got to do. I mean, yes, the Hello Games. I don't think they have a future. I don't think anyone's going to buy another game from them. Again, I know that there's some others that actually get enjoyment out of playing the game as it is, and they didn't. But it's the people who find enjoyment are the people who weren't following the game's development. It's kind of like me with Final Fantasy 15. Like, developed and like it was going along this certain path of this is what the game is going to be, and then all of a sudden it turns into something completely different, and I didn't like that, so I'm not buying the game. But with this, there was no warning. It was just, hey, the game, this is what the game's going to be. Stephen Colbert, this is what the game is going to be. When it comes out, it's not what you said it was going to be. But we got to stop being so toxic. There's really not another describe it, because it's really what it the whole meme and the stereotype of, gamers being entitled, taking things too far when you're complaining about stuff doesn't help that stereotype to go away. I mean, do you think what's your opinion on like the hateful comments that gamers can sometimes say about a game and developers and all that?
Well, like, I understand that what you're doing, like, I don't know, like, no game is made, like, perfect. Like, no game has ever, like, come out and not had its, like, glitches or, like, parts in it to where, like, you just fall through the world, and it's just, like, there's some, like, every game has, like, a little part in it that's not, done correctly, and, like, these things just kind of happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I guess, when a game gets overhyped and, people, like, start really, really getting into it, and then they let their imaginations run wild with it when, like, stuff like the release date getting pushed back, and their heads are like, oh no, this amazing thing that I don't get to do for another month and a half, and it's like, this is going to be forever. Honestly, no, it's not. A month and a half goes by super fast for some people, and, I mean, I don't know. You said it best when you're just like, you just gotta grow up and understand that, like, things happen with some games. Like, this is a special case, and, like, this is what I would say. This is almost exactly like the new Battlefield game. Wait, no, Battlefront.
Star Wars Battlefront.
Yes, Star Wars Battlefront, not Battlefield 1, but that looks like a good game. Battlefront, just like, they didn't necessarily say anything, but they were like, hey, we're going to make a Battlefront game. So I'm sure a lot of people were like, oh, it's going to be like the old ones, but it's going to look even better. And then they got it, and it's like, here's 4 maps. $60, please.
Buy the season pass now for $50.
There you
get
go.
The rest of it
for, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even care to, like, look at that stuff. DLC for what? The other part of the game?
Yeah, and with No Man's Sky, I mean, they're the whole. Yes, you were lied to. Like, I'm really tired of these articles that come out, and they're just like, well, you shouldn't have trusted them, or you shouldn't have believed it when they're promising you all this stuff, and it's their first game. It's like, no, you're a company. I don't care if you're a startup. Was this game? I don't know if it was, but I know that Sony invested a lot in it.
I think it actually was a Kickstarter.
Okay. Well, if it was, it's these types of things, along with Mighty Number 9 and the like. It's these types of will give Kickstarters and indie games a bad rep. It's just going to happen whether you like it or not. So, do we need to calm down? Yes, it is just a game after all. Lives, complaining, to the point where you sound like you're being to the point of you're being unreasonable, that's not going to help anything. Uh, Doing things like wanting a refund and not that make me pretty mad, but to the point where I just wouldn't buy games from them anymore. And honestly, I think that's going to happen as a result. Um, but um, hopefully we can move past this and get a little bit of civility back on Reddit. Although it is Reddit,
That's asking an awful lot.
it always is, isn't it?